Breaking news, people! We have a new leak, so let's talk about it. Will Jurassic World Evolution get a sequel? Does the game even need a sequel? And what does that mean for the game we currently have? Will there still be any DLCs? I've seen a lot of questions, but also a lot of disputes and miscommunication in the community regarding all of this, and I figured I might as well talk about it, delve into the leaks, predictions, and my own wishes and opinions on it all, because it's something you guys ask me about a lot recently. While working on this, a new leak has surfaced, so of course I will also be addressing that. Before we get any further into this video, let me please make it clear to everyone that Frontier has not provided any clarity on any of these matters. There have been uncorroborated leaks, but no official information from the horse's mouth. That's important for you to know right off the bat. In case you decide to bounce, then I'll at least have shared that with you. Small victory, yay. And also if you're gonna stick around till the end of the video, which of course I hope you do, because this video is going to give my own insight and to open up a discussion with you guys. It's not actually factual information, let's just get that out there. Today, a new leak has been shared on 4chan, but I saw it when it was reposted on Reddit. I will read through this leak and we will discuss it. Back in January, a contemporary of mine leaked some vital information regarding the future of Jurassic World Evolution. This incident set in motion a chain of major changes with internal structure, and Frontier has since been extremely careful with who they share details. No surprises here. Side note, office rumors began circling, suggesting that a handful of employees were having their work, terminals, and mobile devices confiscated and checked. Cannot verify, nor do I believe. Anyway, onto the info dump. Our Jurassic World Evolution team is still in the early phase of developing Project Galileo, the sequel. Several titles have been pitched already, ranging from Jurassic Planet and Jurassic World Cataclysm. We now plan to release one smaller DLC pack for Jurassic World Evolution before shifting all resources and focus onto Jurassic World Evolution 2. The current target date is June 11, and the pack will contain 3 new dinosaurs, of which I am uncertain. For Jurassic World Evolution 2, we have a pre-rendered aquarium and lagoon. The aquarium is expected to function similarly to the aviary introduced in the Return to Jurassic Park DLC and houses smaller aquatic creatures such as the Ichthyosaurus and Ammonites, whereas the lagoon is intended for the larger creatures like Mosasaurus, Plesiosaurus, and Tylosaurus. Small carnivores will have unique escape mechanisms, including climbing fences or digging beneath them. Small herbivores that are unable to attack or defend themselves will not be able to escape. Instead, they will enter a depressive-like state and slowly lose health. This leaker refers to the leaker from January as a contemporary of theirs. I find that a very strange term. I thought maybe I'd misunderstood the definition since I'm not a native English speaker, but the word really just means living or existing in the same time as someone else. So we are all contemporaries of one another. So this is a very strange claim to make to sort of allude to some credibility. I don't know how I feel about this leak. Apparently Frontier has tried to lock down on these leaks, but unsuccessfully, apparently. The leak seems to enjoy or exploit the drama of it all, and it all reads a little bit too reality TV show for me to assume it to be credible. The information itself is very minimal, but I guess we'll know by June 11, or around that time at least, whether this leak is legit. One thing I also just want to add as I'm editing and reading through this leak again, I actually realized that none of the information in this leak can ever be accredited, because all they say is that there will be one smaller DLC pack released around June 11 with 3 new dinosaurs, which are not even named. This cannot be proven or disproven. Like when a new dinosaur pack releases on June the 20th, are we then going to say that this leak is true? There's really nothing to substantiate this leak with, which again makes me think that it's not real. It makes some more detailed claims about the sequel, but that won't be happening for at least a year, maybe as much as 2 years. So that's so far in the future that it's inconsequential. But one of the other things that throws me off regarding the credibility of the leak are the rumored titles for the game. I don't believe for a single second that Jurassic Planet is a real option, as it blends the Jurassic IP with Frontier's own IP, namely the Planet series. I feel this plays into the community's outspoken wish for the sequel to be more like Planet Zoo, but I don't see how Universal would ever agree to go along with this. A sequel would always be named Jurassic World something, but most likely even Jurassic World Evolution 2, just to be recognizable. I also question if there really will be only one small DLC for JWE, and then after that the wait for the sequel begins. Because the sequel will likely be delayed just as the movie will likely be delayed, and I believe very strongly that the two will release together. And I talk about that later on in this video. The last 2 points are both referring to the sequel, I think, although only the third point specifically says so. I'm sure that if a sequel is in the works, ideas for mechanics will have been pitched already, but I suspect it would be too early in the process currently to make any definitive claims. Also, if the marine reptiles are incorporated in the sequel the same way we have the aviary in the current iteration of the game, I think there will be riots in the streets, and I will be one of them. I mean, once social distancing is done. God, I hope it's done by then. While we all have accepted that the current game doesn't have a 3D volume for water, so it couldn't be implemented the way we want it in this game, the sequel cannot use the same excuse. The sequel should strive to be better and improve on this exact point, among other things. And that's not too much to ask for. The developers should be very much aware of this. I don't think Frontier is going to try to slip us an aviary-style aquatic tank for a sequel. I think that's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea. Overall, I would say that I personally do not believe this leak, but share your own thoughts in the comments below. In the absence of official word from Frontier, I see unofficial information, as in unproven information, getting out of hand. I've seen so many people on the subreddit, on the forums, but also in my own comment sections, misrepresenting the information from the latest leak from January, by which I mean not conveying at all that it's an unsubstantiated leak. A lot of people are misquoting the leaked information, saying it came directly from Frontier, or that Frontier has confirmed it after the fact. This is not the case, but word of mouth is causing important details, like the anonymous unreliable source, to be lost. A year ago, someone leaked information on 4chan with regards to a Jurassic Park DLC and other updates to the game. As time went on, more and more points of this leak were proven to be correct, culminating in the release of the Return to Jurassic Park DLC, just as predicted.
It was a lie! Bastard! It was all a lie!
No, Claire, this time it was all the truth. This makes it reasonable to think that the part of the leak that mentioned a sequel to the game will be proven to be correct as well. That and common sense just supports it, but I'll get into that shortly. First, more leaks. This leak also says a Jurassic World survival game is underway, and of course recently it was discovered that Universal applied for the license of Jurassic World Evolution Aftermath. So it appears that Frontier will be working on Jurassic World Evolution Aftermath. More recently, albeit still months ago, you know me, I jump on this stuff with the speed of a sea cucumber, another leak has sprung which still keeps the community very preoccupied. This leak made the claim that Return to Jurassic Park was Jurassic World Evolution's last huzzah. With regards to this leak, I see many people making two mistakes. For starters, the leak is constantly being misquoted for stating that there will be no added content following Return to Jurassic Park. But the leak is actually contradicting itself on that front. At first, it says that the development cycle has been completed with Return to Jurassic Park, but later it states there will be no substantial changes to the game mechanics, and that they are shifting focus to adding new creatures to the game. So what is it? Are you done, or are you still adding creatures? They're implying that they are still adding some content, just not big overhauls to game mechanics. Secondly, and more problematically, many people are making the mistake that the recent leaks, which is already months old by the way, but it just keeps popping up everywhere, are necessarily from the same person as the leak from a year ago. This conclusion is premature to say the least. Both posts were made by an anonymous user. While the original leak turned out to be true, giving credibility to the source, there is no reason at all to assume this second anonymous leaker is the same person enjoying the same credibility. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that my degree in psychology finally contributes to my life in some valuable manner, but I will casually remark that the structure and perspective are entirely different. The leaker, which was proven to be right, spoke as an outsider. They'd gotten the information from a friend who works for Frontier. The leaks from January use "we." They claim to be an insider, a direct source. We believe. While I personally readily believe the information in the leak because it's all very logical and unsurprising to me from a business standpoint, there's no factual support so far for the credibility of this leak. So dip these leaks in salt before consumption. Now, what did I just say? Note though, they said creatures, not dinosaurs. Right. Now, I don't have the best track record with deciphering clues. I took a stab at it once, failed miserably, and was publicly shamed for it, including by a fellow YouTuber, for just doing a fun video being hyped about something. Anyway, I just want to play a wholly unqualified devil's advocate here and point out that this leak actually hints that marine reptiles were proposed to be added to this iteration of the game, but the proposal is now on standby, awaiting negotiations concerning a possible sequel. The leak goes on to say that going forward, they, being Frontier supposedly, will be focusing on adding new creatures. Since marine reptiles aren't dinosaurs, creatures would be a more accurate moniker. Now, even though the alleged proposal is said to be on standby due to talks about the sequel, doesn't mean it will never be added. It could be that once they hammer out what marine reptiles will mean for the sequel, they will still be added, albeit in a lesser form, to the current game, in a style similar to the aviary, where we'd get a pre-designed, placeable tank in which we can hatch marine reptiles. The last sentence in the leak is, adding too many new gameplay features may cheapen the experience of Jurassic World Evolution 2. It says too many, not any. So it doesn't say adding any new gameplay features may cheapen the experience of Jurassic World Evolution 2. This final statement means that we could still have some gameplay features coming, such as a placeable mosasaur tank, just not too many. I have said this before and I will say it again. I'd rather spend $50 on a Jurassic World Evolution sequel that stands a chance at really giving us the gaming experience we wanted from the start, than sink $50 more into DLCs released over the next couple of years, which can't fix the fundamental shortcomings of the game we currently have. A lot of people disagree with me, and it's a discussion I regularly have in the comments. People feel that a sequel will have nothing to add, and that it's better for Frontier to improve the current game with DLCs. Considering the limitations of the game engine, however, I don't think I, and many like me, including people who prefer DLCs or think they do at least, will ever really be satisfied with what DLCs can offer. My main want is better terrain manipulation and more variety and placement freedom when it comes to natural scenery, so more trees, more rocks, and not forcing social distancing on the scenery items. Next would be the option to elevate pathways. and rounding out the top 3 would be a lot of decorations. Just missing out on the top 3 is a way to integrate marine reptiles the way we always dreamed of, being able to let them free roam in any body of water and construct a tank for them. The main thing I hear from the community is the want for more customization options, not unlike Planet Zoo. In fact, exactly like Planet Zoo is what I oftentimes hear. Now, I'm not a fan of Planet Zoo. I'd prefer the customization to be a little less exhaustive and time-consuming than that game, but more customization than what we have is definitely welcome. DLCs are not going to deliver on that, not in the extent that we want. In large because the foundation of the game can't support it, and in part because return on investments for large overhauls like that are probably not going to be proficient. I think they could add decorations in a separate tab, but it would be a lot of work, a lot of man hours, for something that is not going to yield as much profit as a new game. So they might release a couple more decorations, but never as many as we truly want. The same goes for Dinosaur AI, which has been criticized for being pretty lacking. They might add some small mechanics like they have in the past with sleeping and herding, but a major overhaul isn't going to boost sales to a point where it would be a wise business investment, whereas being able to promote a new game with quality AI is going to really influence the sales of that. So that explains why I want a sequel, because they can do more with it, and why I think there will be a sequel, because they can earn more from it. Frontier is a business, Jurassic World Evolution was their most successful release ever, and like pretty much every successful movie and game, that means a sequel is a logical step. For better or worse, by the way. That being said, I don't think that precludes the current game from getting any DLCs over the course of the next year or two, as both the next movie and the next game are in development. Allegedly, hopefully. I believe the leaks, and I believe Bessenslot's stance on this. It makes sense for Frontier to still add small bits of content to the game, so as not to alienate or upset the fanbase. Especially since the release date for the movie could be postponed by as much as a year when all is said and done. Because it's not just about the time currently being lost, but it's also about what a suitable release date would be from a marketing standpoint. And a sequel to the game would definitely be released in combination with the theatrical release for Dominion. If the game sequel gets delayed, it's likely that Frontier will have to release a couple more TLC DLCs for JWE to tide the fans over. In conclusion, I think we are still getting a couple of small dinosaur packs, perhaps even a marine reptile pack with a placeable tank, much like the aviary. I'm not banking on it, I'm not saying that, I'm not banking on it, but it wouldn't surprise me either. But I'm also a fervent believer in and supporter of the concept of a Jurassic World Evolution sequel to be released alongside Dominion, which I'm hoping will be the game we all wanted Jurassic World Evolution to be from the start, and to not lack features that we've seen and enjoyed in much older games and other games from this specific developer. Is Jurassic World Evolution dead? I don't think so. Regardless of the DLCs or a sequel, as long as people are still enjoying the game, whether it's through modded content or improving their challenge mode times or making a damn crown with paths, the game is not dead because we are keeping it alive by still having fun with it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy the game.